Hello there. Welcome to another talk. Now, lately, I haven't been doing talks on YouTube, and that's because I have got a strike against me. One strike. Now, I think you get 3 strikes, I think it is, or something. It's beyond 2 anyway. And so what I'm going to try and do is, I did say I wasn't going to be doing any talks, but I think what I meant is I'm not going to be doing any serious talks. Because I can't talk about anything on YouTube that's serious, about anything that's going on, because I may get another strike against me, right? That is the truth. So I think I'll put this to YouTube, and I'm going to try to make this as censored as I can. Well, it has to be censored if I'm going to try and put it on YouTube. I did have 4 parts of the herd mentality, which was new Shaun Taylor show. I've got and the 4th part was on Instagram. I couldn't get them on other sites because the internet wasn't working or whatever. So I apologise for that. All my talks are on my website, which is www.lovelightfamily.com. Now, if this is going to be, I think I can censor a talk. The reason I'm, I think it's a good thing to try this as well, because it would be good if I could get my talks on YouTube as well. And I guess if I'm going to do talks on YouTube, I've got to do it censored, because I am going to get kicked off there if I don't do this. And I think I can censor my talks sometimes, because the core of the problem is actually our minds, our emotions. Now, if I talk about that, I won't get taken off of YouTube or even Facebook. Like, for example, I go on YouTube a lot, and Eckhart Tolle stuff comes up. So the people that run these sites don't have a problem with that. Maybe they don't realise that is the core of the problem. I think that's it. I think the reason why Eckhart Tolle doesn't get taken down, and others do, because David Icke was talking about other things. Other things like climate change, or COVID-19. You can't talk about these things. I tried it. And so I'm not going to even go into it. Maybe because I even said COVID-19, it'll get taken down. But I'm not going to talk about it, because, But I'm going to try doing this sometimes, and just, because I post on other sites. When it's more serious, I post those videos on Dailymotion or Vimeo. And other sites as well. I'm on BitChute as well. Which I haven't posted in a while on BitChute, actually. But yeah, I talk about these things in more detail, but I can't if I'm going to do YouTube. But again, like I'm saying, this talk is really about the core of the problem, of society's problems. And I can talk about that and it be allowed on YouTube, because the core of our problems is emotional. That is the core of everyone's problems. Depression, anxiety, narcissism. Things that can manifest themselves in bipolar disorder and other things. I'm not a psychiatrist, but that is the core of the problems. Now, and maybe it is. Maybe the bosses of Facebook and YouTube don't realise that. Maybe they believe in these other things that you're not allowed to talk against, right? It's like, you know, I don't even believe climate change is a hoax. I've not said that. But some people will take my words and make it out to be something else. I've never said that it's a hoax. Climate change exists. But the hoax really is really everything apart from our emotions. That's really what the hoax is. The problem with society, and the problem, and even if you're talking about the weather, I'm not going to get too much into climate change, because then that wouldn't be allowed. It's not allowed. Unless you're saying exactly what they're saying. So I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is the core of the problem. What is the planet? The planet is energy. Everything's energy. Everything comes from us. Emotions. And the core, like I say, I watched this psychologist on YouTube, and he says that the core of problems is narcissism. And that's exactly true. And that's why, I can do this talk and it not be a problem for YouTube, because that is the problem. But they maybe don't realise that. They think it's COVID or climate change or something else. But really, those things are just a distraction away from the real issue, which is actually within us. That is really the main problem. And if you're someone that is a truther, you've had a spiritual awakening, and you've had your videos taken down on YouTube or Facebook, you can talk about what I'm talking about, and I don't think it'll get taken down. I've not had that before, and I think the reason is because they don't know anything about this kind of thing. I don't think they know anything about it. I don't think they're aware of the real issue. Higher conscious people will be. Having said that, I have heard that some people's channels, some people have been deleted who have been more spiritual. Or they've said some things, for example, the world has never liked you talking about Nikola Tesla or certain things, because they're, these things can awaken us. And I think I've said enough there already. You see, what I'm doing is I'm being very clever. I'm making sure that I'm not going to go too far. In my uncensored talks, I would just say it. But it is true, I don't have to say all these other things, because like I say, the real core of the problems is our emotions. It's a narcissistic person that has got problems, emotional problems, that would want to rule and dominate and to make war with another country. It's all to do with the emotions. If that person heals their emotions, then suddenly there's no problems in the world. And so once we solve these emotions in everyone, then you've got a mass, you've got just love around the whole planet. And that's ultimately what is happening. But it starts by looking within yourself, looking within your heart center, paying attention to your own triggers. It starts by every single one of us doing that. And like I say, this is the core of our issues. This is the very core. Narcissism is the core of all society's problems. It really is. And you know, if you ponder on that for a second, you'll realize that I'm telling the truth. You know, I don't have to talk about climate change or COVID-19 or vaccines or all this other stuff, because the core of the problem, like I say, it's emotion. It's our emotions. It's someone's emotion that wants to do something crazy to another person. So, you know, so to wipe the devil out of our lives, it's all about paying attention to your triggers. That's what happens when I had this unexpected spiritual awakening. I start all of a sudden to be aware of my own unhealed parts and your triggers, and then once you start to pay attention, and then once you're triggered, and then you start to see in you, where is the issue? Instead of blaming external people, and then it gets you nowhere, it doesn't make you happy. And that is the core of all the planet's problems. Remember, everything comes from your emotion. Your emotion makes you do whatever you're going to do, think whatever you're going to think, and that thought becomes an action. Energy produces the physical. Now, I can talk about this stuff all day long on YouTube. And this is why, the reason I'm talking like this and not going into other things, is because number one, I don't have to. Also, I've got one strike against me. If I just talk about the core of the problem when I'm doing a talk on YouTube, then it won't get taken down. And I'm being clever here, and I can still get to do my talks, I think. If, let's just say, a video like this was to get censored again on YouTube, then I would just resort to just doing songs on YouTube like I do also. You know, because I've never had a song censored. You know, because it's very hard to censor songs because so many people write songs. As long as you don't have pictures of certain world leaders on there. You know, but what I'm doing just now, it's wrong that I should have to do this, though, if you think about it. It is wrong in a way that we're not so free that I can't really say what I would normally say. But the other clever thing is it's made me talk about the core of the problem instead of talking about all this other stuff that really doesn't matter. It's the core of the problem that only matters. Right? So your depression, what is the core of that? I haven't had depression now for 5 years. And because the awakening showed me to pay attention to what's triggering that depression, then it's like addiction. If you're addicted to alcohol or a drug, notice how you feel. If you want that drug or alcohol because you want it when you think about it. As you start desiring it less and less, you don't want it anymore. And that's it. Like I said earlier, emotion controls your actions. And so emotion is the core of the problem and also the solution. And I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And for latest updates and talks and news, etc., I do have my own website. My website is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.